Hi, it's John Dunkley, and today I want to talk about the sponsoring activities and the levels that you're going to need to do. I mean, we've already shown you what to do, we've shown you how to do it. Now you need to know what levels you need to do those activities to. And what we find is that number one, you're going to need a goal. You're going to need to know your purpose. Why are you going to get into sponsoring? And most people get into it because they want to earn extra money. And it is a good idea to have an idea of the amount of money that you actually want to earn. Now let's take an example. We'll take £1,000. Let's say you want to earn £1,000 over the next 3 months. Okay, so after the 3-month period, you'll be earning £1,000 a month. What do you need to do and how much? Well, first of all, you need to realise that this business is based on averages. Just like when you put out your catalogues, you get an average. You know, you put out, let's say, 250 catalogues, and on average, you should pick up £250 worth of orders. But sometimes you only pick up 100. Other times you might put out 250 catalogues and pick up 400. And it's no different with the sponsoring. You know, you will go out and you'll put out all your activity, and sometimes you'll get more than you expect, and sometimes you get less than you expect. But it is an average. Okay, so what we need to do is look at this. All right. So let's say you want to earn £1,000 over the next 90 days. Well, in order to do that, I would suggest that you need to get to the gold level. Now, at gold level, you would need a turnover of around about £10,000. Now, you could possibly do that on your own, but what I would recommend is that you get into the sponsoring, build up a team of people, and as a group or as a team, you do that £10,000. Now, what that means is that you're going to need somewhere between 10 to 20 people in your group. So you need to go out and find these people. And what we found is that in order to find those 10 to 20 people, you will need to present the business between 80 to 100 times. Because what we find is that on average, let's say you go along to a meeting face to face with people. I'm not talking about sending out information in the post. I'm not talking about sending out information via email. I'm talking about sitting down face to face with people. So you would probably have to present the business between 80 to 100 times, because we find that maybe 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 people that you get to see will actually join you. Okay, so you need to get to that many meetings. Now, in order to create those meetings, we find that if you've had maybe 5 phone calls, you might be able to produce 1 to 2 meetings. So, working back yet again, you're going to need to get your phone ringing between 5 to 10 times a day. Now that doesn't sound too much. However, what you also need to realise is the amount of work that you need to generate the calls coming in. So for example, let's just take some of the activities that you can do. First off, flyers. Yeah, put out 100 of those. On average, you should get about a phone call per 100. So put out 500, you should pick up around about 5 phone calls. Doesn't always happen, but it's somewhere in that region. The same goes for cards. Put out 400 or 500 of these, you get 4 to 5 calls coming in. One of the best ways to get your calls are newspaper adverts. What we find is that you can get anywhere between sort of 1 or 2 calls coming in up to maybe 40 or 50 calls. Now these are obviously a lot more expensive than the cards and flyers, but they work immediately, and generally you get a very good response from them. But you've also got to remember about all the other activities that you can do. You know, making sure that you've got an advert on the back of your car, for example, and you might get 1 or 2 calls coming in per month. And really what you're trying to do here is build up the momentum, trying to get the calls coming in. You know, have a sign on your front door, wear a badge, maybe put some shop adverts out. Again, you don't get a massive amount of calls coming in, but you do get calls, and it's all about building that momentum. Putting stickers on free post, you know, that's good. Putting bus stop ads out. Again, you know, you're not going to get masses and masses of calls coming in, but you are going to get calls. And the other thing, certainly these days, is the internet. You know, we've put on various adverts on the internet, and every 2, 3, 4 days we're getting a call or 2 calls coming in. So it's well worth doing. Now, you need to do this activity consistently and persistently. Don't just do it once and then think, right, I've got everything out. You've got to do it day in, day out and build up that momentum. And it's probably going to take you a couple of weeks to build up that momentum. And once you've got it to a certain level, you need to make sure that you continue to do that activity so the calls keep coming in. And really what you need to do is do whatever it takes to create those leads. But that plan that I've just shown you is based on face-to-face communication, as I say. It's not sending out information in a post. If you do plan on building your team just by sending information out in a post, what I would suggest is you probably need 5 to 10 times that amount of leads coming in. Yeah, so you're going to need to do a hell of a lot more work. So ask yourself now, what are you going to do to start this process off? What are you going to do to achieve the desired amount of money that you want to earn? If you need any help, I would suggest that you go back to your sponsor, have a little chat to them, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. So until next time, bye.